So go to the Export Utilities page, and at the bottom of the page you'll see there's an Export AAI button. This button can be run at any time, so if you ever update A6s or revenue reclasses, you could just come back to this page and generate a new AAI. So let's go over the AAI CSV and how it's formatted. You won't need to know how this data is formatted, but it can be useful to help you diagnose or possibly create your own AAI files if you so choose. The first two columns are just arbitrary account numbers that the HFS software needs. So we just order them in ascending order from 1, 2, 3, 4. The first column of importance is column C. This has all your values for the input fields. Column F is your worksheet, and we can see this is for worksheet A6. H is your basis code, J is your line, and K is your column. So if we filter this AAI, we'll see what worksheets are included. We have A, A6, A8, C, G, G2, and G3. So let's close this file and import it into HFS. When you're in your current year cost reporting software, you'll want to go under Tools, AAI. This will load the automated account interface within HFS. This is essentially a temporary spreadsheet on the side, not part of the cost report, but part of the software. It almost acts like Excel, where you have workbooks and you can have tabs. So right now my AAI is blank. So what you'll want to do is import the file. So you'll want to point to that AAI file we just generated. You'll select it, you'll open it, make sure the bottom option is selected, and then hit next. You can skip over the next page, and if you want, you have the option to create a new workbook and name this new sheet. So maybe I'll call this one New Tools. Then you have 4 options of what you want this AAI file to do to your previous AAI. You can replace existing values, add to imported values, subtract from imported values, or I default to the remove existing data and replace it with the imported data. Selecting this option will only affect those values that are included within your AAI. If you had previously input some values into the cost report, but they are not part of your AAI, those previously input values are okay and will not be replaced. The replace only occurs on overlapping values, specific worksheet lines and columns that exist in your AAI, and there was a previous value in the software. Next, just make sure you don't want to print the AAI file because it could be quite long. Select Finish, and the AAI file gets brought in. So I named it New Tools, and here's my tab. So there's all my data. Now if I want to populate the cost report worksheets, what you'll do is then select Export, and you'll pick which tab you want to export to the cost report forms. You select Export, and off it goes. All of these values that we just brought in are now populated in the cost report worksheets. So if I go to my worksheet A, which was blank before, now has all their values imported. Likewise, this will create all your A8 lines, your A6 basis codes, your C Part 1 revenues, etc. Now let's go over a scenario where maybe you update only one worksheet and only want to bring in that data and not replace all of the other data. So let's say I updated a majority of my A8s and I need to re-import those because I don't want to key them in. So you'd still run the AAI. So let's say I want to delete out everything but my A8 data. I'm going to select everything but my A8. I'm going to leave the header because I need a header to filter on. Delete all the data, unfilter, and I'll see essentially I'm left with only A8 data. Then I'm going to delete this last final row, which is related to A6. So now, if I look within my new file, I essentially have an AAI just for worksheet A8. I'll then want to save this as its own AAI file. Maybe I'll call it AAI A8. So you'll close the file, and then you'll be able to import that via HFS, and you can bring in just your A8 information. Next, call this A8. Next, finish. And if I look on my AA tab, it is just my worksheet AA data. Then I can export, and I'll only want to export the worksheet A8 data.